Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. So, I actually just recorded this episode in full. It was pretty good, I thought. And then I went to listen to it, and it was very low volume. So this is me re-recording it. I hope it's as good as the first time. We're going to talk about telling the truth for love. I love this topic. So recently I've been coaching a few clients around this topic of telling the truth for love, and I thought it was a great topic for a podcast. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about telling the truth to others and yourself for love, to be your most loving self. So how is telling the truth to yourself and to others being loving? How is this, right? Well, let's start with asking, what would love do for everyone? For you and for everyone else involved. When you are feeling love, when you're feeling the emotion love, how do you show up? Do you lie when you're feeling love? Or are you being honest when you feel love? Now, personally, I show up with honesty and truthfulness when I'm feeling love for everyone, myself and everyone else involved. Now, let's talk about how being truthful is being loving towards yourself first. Telling yourself the truth is being loving towards yourself, because when you tell yourself the truth, you are living in integrity and being honest with yourself, which is a form of love for yourself. So let's start with finding out what the truth is for you by asking yourself, what do you really want in all aspects of life, and why? And then, do you like these reasons? This is finding your authentic self, what you really want, your true desires, liking your reasons for them, and then living within this. Now, it's a lot easier said than done, right? Well, yes and no. We are going to break down everything to make it easier for you. And so you can see why this path of truthfulness, telling the truth, may be something that you want or not. Everything is always an option. So after finding your authentic self by asking yourself what you want in all areas of life, and then asking yourself why, and then liking your reasons for these, now let's explore how telling this truth, how living within this truth to others, right? Expressing it to others is being loving towards them, is a loving action for them. So to start, let's look at why we sometimes aren't truthful in the first place. To have this compassion and understanding towards ourselves, for ourselves. Why don't we always tell the truth to the people that we care about? You may be thinking of them, right? When I ask this question to you, what comes up? You may be thinking of them and want to protect them. Have you ever done this? I know I have. Not shown up with complete honesty because you want to protect the other person from feeling a negative feeling. Now, maybe it's in a small way, by agreeing to do something you don't want to do, such as attending an event, maybe doing a favor for someone. Or this could show up in big ways, maybe in large aspects of marriage, such as having kids, getting married in the first place, right? Infidelity, cheating, lying, maybe in money. You may think, I love them, so I don't want them to feel pain. Or you could think, I just don't want to hurt them. These thoughts, they sound really nice and really kind, but you are keeping the truth from them. And if we break this down, you are making false assumptions and actually taking their power away. Now, how? How are you making false assumptions and taking their power away? Well, you're assuming that what you say will cause them to feel a negative feeling, such as pain or hurt. But you actually don't really know what they will experience, right? So this is a false assumption. And you're assuming that you can create their feelings, but you can't create their feelings. Only that they can create their feelings with a thought about what you said or did. Now, this may look like you say to them, I don't want to attend that certain gathering this year. You said these words to them, this truth to them. Or something bigger, I cheated on you. You said this truth to them. And then they have a thought which causes their feelings. Now, by taking responsibility for their feelings, you are both taking their power away and also not being fair to yourself by putting this heavy weight on yourself. So this isn't being loving to yourself or to them. And secondly, withholding the truth to keep them from pain and hurt because you love them is actually backwards. By withholding this truth, you are not allowing them to experience their truth, which possibly could be negative emotions. By living in your truth and telling the truth, you are giving a gift to your loved one, which is for them to experience all the human emotions, both positive and negative. And then they can decide for themselves. You are showing up with love by allowing them to experience pain and hurt if they choose to. If they choose to experience pain and hurt, this comes from their thoughts about what you say or do or did. And why else do we withhold the truth? Well, telling the truth usually takes vulnerability and courage. And these emotions just don't feel great. It's easier in the moment to be the version of ourselves that the other person wants. It's easier in the moment to withhold the truth. It's easier to do what other people want and not ruffle the feathers in that moment sometimes. But this is people-pleasing. People-pleasing feels like it is coming from a nice and a kind place, right? You're doing this thing for that other person. You're pleasing them. But in reality, you are being the version of you that the other person wants. And you are hiding what you actually want. You aren't showing up as your true self. And this is lying. And lying is the opposite of telling the truth. In reality, people-pleasing is not being loving, it is lying. Lying is not love. Lying creates disconnect. Lying or people-pleasing is taking the easy way, which is less rewarding, instead of the truth, which can be harder but more fulfilling in the long run. In the long run, people-pleasing is tough, right? People-pleasing can wear on you. It's like you are constantly acting or constantly not truly being who you are. That sounds like a hard way to live. By speaking and living into your truth now is delaying gratification for the long-term benefits of being who you are. Which honestly, I can't think of anything better than to be who you are. Now, this is harder in the moment, but far more authentic, real, and makes for more connected relationships, which to me is the better outcome. Now, let's take an example. Let's say you tell your partner that you don't want to spend the holidays with their family. Or you tell your partner that you haven't been faithful. Or you tell a friend that you don't want to attend that lunch or that get-together. You are telling the truth to these people. Now, this can feel uncomfortable and scary because of your thoughts. And then their reaction, their words and actions may have you thinking thoughts that create negative emotions for you in that moment. But in the long run, your truth in this moment, telling the truth, is living as your authentic self rather than an inauthentic version of you. In the long run, your truth in this moment, telling the truth, is allowing for more connection between the two of you because you are being who you are instead of an inauthentic version of you. So how can telling the truth create more connection? Telling the truth is being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is the only way to true intimacy. If you aren't telling the truth and being you, you are being a different version of you, not you, right? And this is the opposite of intimacy and connection. When you are vulnerable, living into your truth, your wants, your desires, and telling the truth about who you are and the actions you take or took, you are showing up as your authentic self, giving the other person a chance to decide for themselves how they want to show up with all of their thoughts, all of their feelings and actions. And you can connect from a real and authentic place. So it's asking yourself if you want a connected or a disconnected relationship, both with yourself and others. Which would you prefer? Now, there's no judgment either way. Being authentic is hard, as I just outlined, right? It is hard. It's not easy. But if you decide you want a connected relationship, it involves telling the truth and then knowing ahead of time that this may be uncomfortable initially. But in the end, you are living as your authentic and real self to have a more connected and authentic and real relationship. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, I have lots of free stuff for you. If you want the 3 steps to a happy relationship or some free training, head on over to whitneywellscoaching.com. Grab them in the show notes. There'll be a link right there, and you can grab all the free things that I have for you, and you can apply them to your life immediately. I also have free coaching. So if you want to try this out, honestly, when I first stepped into coaching and stumbled upon all of this, I was very skeptical. I I didn't really know about it, and I didn't know how it could really help me, but it is like opening a door, and empowerment and freedom and relief are on the other side. So if you have any problem, or you want relief about something, or you want to feel empowered, or just overall feel better, try coaching. Try out a 20-minute session. Nothing to lose. You can schedule through my website, whitneywellscoaching.com, 20 minutes, and we can solve a problem. I would love to chat with you. All right, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.